So today we're going to be covering for you, first we're going to be covering a stock market update and what's going on right now. We're also going to be covering silver and gold update. Guys, there's still a massive warning with gold. Don't be sucked in by this rally that's been happening right now. Also a gold and silver mining stocks update as well too. Also what I'm going to be covering with you today is I'm going to be covering this one right here, and that is this one right here, is that I'm going to be covering one stock that's setting up right now that could actually see a really big up move. I'm also going to talk to you about the oil crash. Is it actually starting? Something I've been warning about for quite some time now, but it may be actually starting right now. And then I'm going to finish off with today's session with one powerful trading pattern. There's actually a really powerful trading pattern that I use that you can actually start to. I'm going to show you exactly what it is and how to implement it in your own trading today. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, before we do get started, traders, I've actually opened up 10 spots to my actual coaching program. I've opened up some spots for 2025 for a 12-month coaching program with me. You get access to my trading systems. There's scans, a trading community. You're with me every single day to really help you, coach you, and guide you, and so on and so forth. If you are struggling this year, guys, and you do need some help, it's by application only. If you go to getjohnshelp.com and you go over there, you see the application. I also actually show you my actual trading account. I show you the testimonials. I show you a bit more about who I am as well too. So if you'd like to learn more about that, go to getjohnshelp.com, go over there. You can actually see my results this year. You can see my clients' results. You can see more about me and stuff like that. And if you do need some help, guys, then I do know that I can really make sure 2025 is an amazing year if this year has been bad for you. So let's actually get into the stock market right now. So on the Dow Jones, pretty much a nothing day. And this is probably going to start to really just... we're probably not going to be doing much now until I would say the election comes out. And then by looking at this, what's happening here, and especially on the big picture, I do see we're probably likely to see a really big up move to come out of this level through here, guys. We are definitely in a big upward trend, but we're getting this pullback through here. And if I look at my weekly charts, notice how we're getting pretty far away from these weekly charts here. See this here? See how far away we are from the weekly charts, and now we're getting a bit of a pullback. So even if we got just a little bit more of a pullback, we're still in we're still got this very strong upward momentum through here. So if we do get a bit of a pullback, it's probably going to be a slingshot pattern to come out of these markets here. Moving on now through to the Nasdaq as well too. Nasdaq's really strong, which is actually surprising to me. I was expecting to see a lot of these indices at least do nothing for maybe for a couple of weeks as the election gets under fold, but here we are now, just under a week from what's going to happen. It's really interesting, right? Really interesting to see that even the Nasdaq is still slowly grinding to the upside. Looking at the S&P 500, and the S&P 500, if we look at this from an absolute real short-term level basis, maybe even the last, it's really interesting to see how we're just holding here, guys. We're just holding through here right now. So I don't know. Maybe are we going to get is a drop coming out of, say, the S&P 500 when the announcement of who becomes president starts to kick in, right? So that's like, what's going to happen there, right? So the reason why I say that is because we're actually pretty high right now. And if I look at this weekly charts from here to here, and it's something you'll be able to see whenever we do start to get a bit distance away from this 24 moving average on my weekly charts, we actually end up starting to, when we do get pretty far away, we end up actually having a little bit of a pullback. We're not that far away from it yet, but it's just giving me a bit of concerns that, we're just holding here. So is this a hold? Is this a pause before we start to see another really big move to the upside from here? So it's really interesting to see what's going on there. If I was a betting man, guys, we may get a bit of a drop to the downside, as I was saying before. But from a technical analysis point of view, the trend is very strong to the upside. We're actually getting, see this 52 moving average? Look at this here. So see how we like that, and see what's happening now with the 52. It's actually starting to increase, like more up. That's actually really interesting to see. But that's what's happening through there. Looking at now through to the Russell. King Russell, guys. King Russell. I do believe King Russell is going to start to come to town. I do believe once we start to get above this 225 level, guys, I really do see that King Russell's probably going to start to take on some serious price action. So maybe it's going to hold here, and then we do get a real big breakup above this 225 level. What if that does happen, guys, around the election, then we're probably likely to see a really big move coming out of the Russell through here. So that's what I'm seeing through there out of all the indices. Let's go look at actual gold and silver right now. And silver, very, very, very nice, good, strong update today. We are definitely in a strong. We're definitely in a strong overall trend on that weekly chart. But we also have this low, higher low, and now another higher low, and right now we still could be in the middle of what I call an energy building phase, right? So the market goes through these different phases, right? So they go through, and if you see this through here, right, we go through what? We go through a energy using phase, and then we go through a pullback, which is an energy building phase. Energy using phase, energy building phase, energy using phase. So is this still just part of a energy building phase? Because what can happen, as you can see, sometimes these energy building phases can be quite volatile as it's going sideways. So question mark around what's happening right now on the short-term level when it comes to the silver market. And guys, gold, danger, danger, danger. The big thing that I've been for the last, say, week, maybe even a couple of weeks now, I've been really putting the danger warning out there when it comes to gold is this. You can never predict the exact top out of gold, okay? But we can start to use probabilities of what's going to come next, right? Remember I said before of how markets operate? How do they operate? They go through what? They go through these swinging motions, right? They don't just go straight up. There is going to be a swinging motion that's going to continue to kick in, right? What do we have? Up, down, which is more like what? Energy using phase, energy building phase. Energy using, we run out of energy, now we're going to go build some energy. No, Would you say we've got a full tank of energy up here, or have we been using a lot of energy for quite some time? Now again, we don't know when the exact top's going to be. That's not what this is all about. And I've never once said the top's going to be in today. It's more like a general theme around just if you are looking to get into gold, there's a massive danger warning sign right now. Why? Because you're getting in after it's already made a move, right? And again, the foundations of how markets work, up, down, up, right? The foundations is that's how the markets operate, and that's how the market is. Makes sense? So when we're looking at that, we can see there's a high probability we're going to start to see a turn. Now again, this is a weekly chart, right? And what we're seeing right now on the actual daily charts screams warning, warning, warning. Gold false breakout, gold warning. It's just a massive, massive warning. And you know the thing about these big bull markets, guys, is this. Look how big this bull market's been, okay? When we do, right, and even right now, sucker rally, false breakout, gold false breakout. Whenever we do go through these periods like we're going through right now, guys, whenever we do go through those periods, if we do get a big down bar, remember a very big strong down candle can wipe out, sometimes even a couple of weeks with a trading action. We know that, right? A big down bar. It's really interesting to see us going through a big massive rally before the election. Does that mean after the election we're going to get a significant drop? So that's what I'm all about, guys. When it comes to the gold market right now, is my whole thing around this is just to be alert for people that are looking to get in right now. If you're, and that's more for trading purposes, right, guys? Trading in markets, right? There's differences between trading and investing. Don't mix them up. If you're an investor, which I am in gold, you're buying, holding for 4 or 5 years. Who cares about the short-term movement? Who cares? Run away. Who cares what's going to happen in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, right? You just say, okay, I'm holding this for 5 years. That's an investing mentality. A trading mentality is what? You're looking for good setups and stuff like that, right? And then and you're looking to get in at good high probability times. A high probability time is what? When we go through an energy using phase, when we've gone through an energy building phase, we're getting ready to go again, right? we're looking to get in here somewhere, not up here after it's already made a lot of move around the energy using phase. Let's move on now through to the GDX for the day. And a little small update, still a very strong upward trend, right? My rule number one is trend analysis. And as long as we're making these high lows, the trend is still up. But even though we're making these high lows, we go through what? We go through these gyrations, up, go down for a week or two, up. We might be going down for another maybe we might be going down for another say week or more. But as we continue this upward trend, and then we start to see the up move from there out of the GDX from there. Move on now through to the GDXj, and the GDXj, really, you can see here, right? We really didn't do much, did we? See what through here? We really didn't do much, did we? Just all this sideways. And now we can see it's really starting to move to the upside. So after a period of not doing much for a good, say, what's that, 3 to 6 months, now we're really starting to push to the upside when it comes to the GDXj from there. Moving now through the SILJ, and look at this here. I actually was doing some analysis today on this one here, and you can see here, right, we went sideways, and now we're starting to go up, sideways, breakout, and a move to the upside. And yeah, just really, once again, guys, look at this here, right? Look at this here, up, energy using, energy building, energy, and this is actually still part of a whole energy using phase, right? So the best time to get in is after a period of energy building phase, and same for the SILJ as well too. If my software is going to work for me, let's go through to here. There we go. Oh, there we go. Cool. All right. So same thing through here, right? So same thing. We didn't do much for quite some time through there, through there. We broke up. Right, energy sort of using phase, and then we went through an energy building phase, and now we're going back up again, and now we went up through here through SILJ, and now we're actually getting a little bit of a pullback from here. But still, we're starting to see, we actually had no trend through here, and now we can start to see what? Now we can start to see that we're starting to get some sort of upward trend from there, from moving on through there. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, from all of that perspective from here. Let me share with you here. So what did I promise you? I promised you one stock that could be making a big up move, and that is, I just give you a bit of a thing right now. So this is actually Goldman Sachs. So take this with what you do with this one here. Right, Goldman Sachs right now, guys, has been really holding here quite actually strong through here, right? You can see here we've just been haven't been really doing much through here, and now we're potentially starting to break out into some sort of a trend analysis again. You can see we haven't really, like, even back through here, right? So all through May, June, July, August, September, now even through October, we've just, this whole, if I'm going to do my color again, we can see here, right, it was all sideways here, and then it's all sideways here, and then we're going sideways again, but now we're potentially breaking out. So this is one stock, guys, that if we do hold here a bit longer and we start to get a bit of a breakout to the upside, that could be the one that actually starts to see a really, really, really big move to the upside. The next thing I talked about here, guys, which was oil crash. Is the oil crash about to start from us? And this is something, guys, that I've been really sort of putting the warning bells out there. And the thing is guys, you can never know the exact day things are going to happen, right? That doesn't exist in the markets, but a general theme around, okay, the big picture's building here, and this is what could be coming soon. And you know, I've been screaming, or if you've been following me now for quite some time, if you haven't, then I've been really talking about oil having a big down move for quite some time. We initially got this up move, and when we got this up move from here, people thought that the bottom was in oil, and that I got the downside wrong. I got that call wrong. But what they were missing out on is that the amateurs who were saying that were not seeing the real big picture, right? The real big picture out of these markets, guys, the real big picture is the most important part. And I use two things. I use a trend and I use a moving average. And if, put it this way, if the big picture, right, what do you think, just from a logical point of view, if I said there's a trend on the daily chart and there's a trend on the weekly chart, which chart is going to be more powerful? What type of trend, the daily chart or the weekly chart? Weekly chart, right? And if I said that there's momentum on the daily charts and there's momentum on the weekly charts, which one do you think is more powerful to really gauge for, say, momentum? Weekly chart, right? And that's what I was doing through here. I was doing all this. What I was doing through here is I was saying that even through here, right? We got this. Again, these are weekly bars, but the really simple analysis that I really want you to be able to take on and be able to use on every single thing you're doing. If you're looking at the daily charts, always keep an eye on that weekly chart, right? And the weekly chart, I want you to put a 24 moving average on there. It's just a simple moving average, guys. Nothing new, right? But how I use it is this. The first thing I'm looking for is I'm looking for trend. And if we are making a series of higher lows or lower highs, high, lower high, lower high, lower high, then the trend at this particular time is down. Never trade against the trend, because even if you think you got the bottom right, then you actually end up getting smashed, just what happened recently. So people going long or right now, they got smashed. Okay, so never trade against that trend, that weekly trend. And the next thing I do say is when it comes to the moving average. If the moving average is, as you can see, the moving average was sort of pretty much flat all through here, right? Up and down, just sideways. But look what's been happening now for the last few months. See how it's been trending down? So not only are we making these lower highs, but we're getting what? We get these lower highs. Then the moving average is like a momentum indicator. And if it's strong trending on the downside, now we've got a bit of momentum behind this. And this is one of the things I've been really talking about on the big picture of what could be coming up. And this is why I'm also saying too, when it comes to gold, is we are going to get a significant time phase, or a significant energy building phase for you guys, right? A significant energy building phase. But I just don't know when that's going to be, right? And this is where, like, if you're very short-term focused, like what happened today and so on and so forth, it's the wrong thing to do. Always keep an eye on the big picture, because the big picture will eventually start to kick back into play, right? We do start to kick back into play. And because, like, for example, here, a lot of people thought when it comes to the oil crash, we can see here that this oil move on the downside, people thought that this move to the upside, they weren't seeing the big picture of this weekly charts, and the reason why this has gone down is because the weekly chart is pushing it back down. So you're sort of expecting that from there, from that perspective there. And also, what I promised you here is one powerful trading pattern that you can start to use, that you can start trading today, and that is you can see I've got a lot of different screenshots here. But the number one thing I want to share with you is what's called the channel setup, right? The channel setup. There's this channel setup here, and whenever it does appear, it's really, 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 really powerful. So once you guys use it, run with it, and make some money with it. Traders, if you are interested in becoming if you're looking to learn more about technical analysis and stuff like that, you can grab access. I'm running a 95% off sale to my entire Master Trader Lab. If you go to John's flash sale, there should be a link in the description there. You can grab access to that. If you're interested in more about the technical analysis of the chart reading, the mindset, the trading systems, the technical analysis side, there's a massive membership there. You can grab access to that. But by this one pattern through here, look at this here, right? This number one pattern through here is what? The big thing for me is I see that firstly I identify a channel, right? A channel is obviously a series of lows and a series of highs first. Then what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a period of where it doesn't do much, right? It sort of just goes sideways. And this happens on two different things. This first scenario over here is it runs up to the top of the channel, but then goes sideways, right? And we have the moving average coming up. Remember I said about the momentum, and then we start to get the big breakout from there. That's the first setup that I'm looking for. The second, this is one of the patterns I'm actually looking for, okay? When it comes to this channel type of setup. The second channel setup is when it breaks out of the channel. Now, if we're looking at the numbers here, right? If we're looking at, say, the numbers, then I would say that number one and number two is the most powerful one for me that I've seen in my sort of experience, my last 20 years of trading the markets. And the ones that can produce the biggest moves and a real high probability is this number 2. The number 2 is when we do get the channel, but we get the breakout first. See how we get the breakout first? Then we develop this sideways period, and then we start to get, this, and then we start to get this breakout bar from here. There's a high probability that this is about to take on some serious price action in that direction from there. Obviously, that's from the entry point and obviously trade management and so on and so forth. So the two examples I want to share with you here. So this number 2 through here, right? So this number 2 pattern through here. I'll show you an example of what it looks like on the chart. So here we go. Here was a channel. This was this happens on. There's a few trades that's happening. There's a few setups like this happening on the stock market right now that I was talking about with my private clients. That's happening right now. Again, if you're interested in becoming a private client, if you do need some help, guys, then join my 12-month coaching program. You're with me every single day the market's open. I'll help you identify good setups. I'll help you get your emotions under control. I'll guide you through how to let your profits run and cut your losses short while keeping your emotions under control and all that sort of stuff. I'll help you, okay? Just go over to getjohnshelp.com, and on that page you'll be able to see my trading account, my results. You'll be able to see the testimonials of people who've done you'll be able to see more about me, about my story, and so on and so forth. Just go over there and check it out. I promise you'll start to get more inspired, okay? But looking at this level 3 here, what do we have, right? We have the channel first. So this is more like what? This is more like this one through here, right? Why? We have the sideways period. This is the trade that I took, right? Sideways period, right? We have like a bit of a channel going on there. It broke out, right? It broke out, went sideways, broke out, went sideways, and look at this here. And then we had this breakout candle, and look at that big move that happened. Now that doesn't look like much, but this is a 1-minute chart. This is a 1-minute futures chart, right? And this is on the Nasdaq. Do you know the return on that from that move from there? So that's the first scenario there, as you can see, when it comes to breaks out of the channel first, then goes sideways, and then moves to the upside. The second scenario is more like this first scenario, this one here, where you actually have what? The sideways period inside the channel, then you get the breakout. And this is an example of a trade that I took, right? So you can see here, this is the S&P 500. You can see the channel, right? You've got the channel going on through here. There's that major resistance point all through there. But see how it actually went up, and see how it went sideways in the channel first? And then we got the breakout bar, right? The breakout bar was telling me whether I can make a very big move. It's one of my most favorite actually trading patterns, guys, as you can see. And this works on every single. What I'm showing you right now is this here is a 2-minute chart. There's a 1-minute chart there. We're talking about futures charts here. But traders, right now, there's actually some of these setups happening right now on the actual stock market. And we're not talking about this. We're talking weekly chart setups. And when it's set up on the weekly, we could be getting ready for a really big move, not just for a few days, but because it's a weekly chart, we could be getting ready for a move for a good, say, 3 to 6 months of a very big, strong move. And guess what? When that happens, you can really capitalize on some really, really, really big profits.